Every year, the LEGO Group handpicks some of the best LEGO artists from across the world, and they assemble at one place, the Masterpiece Gallery, a legendary space that celebrates the mind-blowing creations of the LEGO community. Today, let's tour the gallery and see all the creations on display this year. You're going to see some of the people that LEGO themselves has deemed the best of the best. Let's check it out. We'll begin with my favorite cabinet in the gallery. In this corner, we have the work of the incredible Dera. Dera's tiger is a thing of beauty. The way he's managed to replicate the anatomy and just perfectly match the shapes and the curves, it's magical. I've seen this online and I was very impressed, but seeing it in person, it's just sensational. And the closer you look, the better it gets. Details like using a spider element on the head to get in a few extra stripes. Dude. Or a chicken element to help shape the side of the face. Who would have thought about that? But how good does it look? This is so incredibly clever and realistic. The basic frame uses fairly standard ratchet joints and Bionicle style ball and socket pieces. You just do not see MOCs that look this clean, this good, but are also posable. Wow. And then Dera's peacock. This is mesmerizing. Being able to capture all the vibrant colors, the texture and feeling of feathers. It's amazing. I really like how some of the feathers make use of these jaw pieces. You typically see them on dinosaurs, snakes, animals, all kinds of stuff like that. But to have so many and use them like this, that's next level. And then nearby, the eye. This is actually the lower section of Darth Vader's helmet. If we zoom in a little bit here, it's a little easier to see. Sweet, how cool is that? Dera is a master of replicating the anatomy of animals and creatures with LEGO. And then he takes pieces and uses them in the most creative ways ever. It's a joy to see. But Dera continues to kill it with this Godzilla. It's a sight to behold. And then even just, small details like using minifigure arms for eyebrows. Or quite obscure elements like baby dinosaurs. Just integrating that in with some of the texture. Hot dog. That works incredibly well for Godzilla's cracked skin. This is wild. Speaking of that cracked skin, take a look at this. This is one of the Borok Krana from Bionicle sets. That works pretty well for the aesthetic and texture of Godzilla's skin. That's just good to see some love for Bionicle, my favorite theme. But seeing this in person, you do notice a few details that you might not have seen online. For example, the rubber elements right here on the tail. This helps really lock things in place when the tail is resting a little bit more on the ground. You kinda need stuff like that when you're building this big. Nice. Everything about this is so freaking awesome. Dera, he really outdid himself. All of these models are just sensational. Next door, another very talented artist, Mitsuru Nikkaido. We have these amazing animal builds that elegantly recreate the organic forms and shapes of real-life creatures. But it also layers in a few other mechanical highlights. It's a fascinating little mixture. Take this penguin, for example. You can see that rather robotic-looking element right here. Well, it comes from a Bionicle set. Like Kopaka, for example. And then we got things like these tubes on the bottom of this whale's mouth. But again, like those fins, this has that interesting robotic flair. Isn't it cool to see the interplay between organic forms and greebled robotic highlights? I love it. The bulbous shape on the top of this jellyfish, sick. And then even using some of these old fin elements that appeared in a few classic space sets. Yeah, it's a bit of an older piece, but it just makes this MOC. The last creation in this cabinet, it's a builder called Dera, and they've built this huge building. So the way it's displayed, you can only really see the interior, but down below there's a little picture that shows the opposite side. Yeah, good to be able to see a bit of both. So the individual rooms are so lovely. It feels like you're stepping into an actual house. And check it out, there's a lot of these different printed tiles. They really do breathe a lot of life into this design. Always good to see people playing around with stickered and decorated elements. Let me show you a few more looks at the interior, but something I want to bring up very quickly. If you're enjoying seeing what you're seeing, be sure to take a look at the links below. There you can find the social media of every builder that's featured in the Masterpiece Gallery. You're gonna love their other stuff. Be sure to give them a follow, leave a like, comment on their stuff, let them know what you think, and just take in some of their other incredible work. You won't regret it. But I do like some of the other cutaways at the very bottom of the building. They feature some overgrown plants, little hidey holes for these mice. Adorable. Before we move over to the next cabinet, we've got a new addition. Now they've started adding artwork to the walls. They've not really done that before. And this really is a work of art. The stunning colors, the way the artwork literally leaps off of the canvas. Wow. And these things are big, by the way. Giant portraits. I love this so much. Now, I've seen countless Lego mosaics and art pieces, and sure, they're good. But sometimes when you see so many, they start to feel a little repetitive, a bit boring. You see the same stuff a lot. But this really shakes things up. Because they look so cool from afar, but the closer you get, well, you can see all these little details, all these beautiful greebles, and a ton of Easter eggs. Things like minifigures, little faces, all kinds of craziness. The fact that this rewards you by taking a closer look, that's the best. You just stay engaged. There's such an insane level of depth and detail. This truly is extraordinary. Cabinet number 2. We move over to an Australian builder and someone that also comes from Perth. Some Perth representation. Excellent. Jane brings to life Tom Roberts' iconic Australian painting. And mate, the character design on this is next level. Details down to like wrinkles on the character's shirt, the perfectly captured poses, the facial expressions, even the realism of like the sheep, the way that these very basic Lego bricks really do look like wool and fur. This is crazy. The forced perspective on this is also stunning, and some of the weathering details, spot on. Mate, this slaps. And so does our next creation. This samurai walking through a gate. The way that the shadows have been built into the landscape. Bro, I can't think of a time I've ever seen brick-built shadows. How ingenious is that? Now, all of these other little side builds, they're meant to work in unison to create one big, I guess, art piece. Here's an image from the builder's social media so you can see what it looks like. And oh man, it looks really good. Truly amazing. Alright, we're here now. It's time for the Bionicle representation. This is built by King Knack. Thankfully, every year the Masterpiece Gallery always makes sure to feature at least one Bionicle builder. And as a Bionicle fan, that's a good thing. I love seeing it. And this is cool, and this is big. A huge, imposing dragon with a beautiful mix of black and subtle hints of red. The red really pops. Nice to see a lot of these repeated claws that make up the ribcage. And then all these different spider-like limbs, wrapping them around the neck. Bro, that's clever. But I must say, I do quite like the face. There's a very interesting part use right here. If you remember some of the Shadow Matoran, well, these are their wings, turning that into horns. Bro, that's a spicy meatball, I like that. It's so good seeing large-scale creations like this that don't shy away from intricate details. Nice work. Cabinet number 3. Some truly fascinating creations right here. We begin with Bart, and he's got this very artistic mock. I love the blending of mechanical greebled textures, and then interplaying that with organic, lifelike plants. These stark opposites, they work really nicely together. I don't know, even just like the water below it. Looking at this, it has this wonderful dreamlike quality to it. So interesting. But these beasts, they make use of a very obscure Lego element. If you can pick where this is from, well, points to you, because it's a pretty weird piece. This comes from some Lego Ben 10 sets, specifically Jet Ray. And it's just so good to see some love for Lego Ben 10. Heck yeah. Up next, Kit. And Kit, they've built these character builds of Watson and Sherlock. And dude, they are so well made. Let me point out some of the clever part usage, because there's a lot. Sherlock uses a tricorn hat for his chin, and then a bulldog for his nose and forehead. Are you kidding me? This fits in so well. You can barely see what it originally was, but then when you spot it, you're like, dude, that's sick. I love that. But it gets even better. Watson does the same thing, but with a chicken. And the little red details on the top of the chicken, that just blends in with his hair. This is frickin' genius. That's the true power of the Lego brick. Kit also brought this stunning medieval house, and the landscape work here is some of the best I've ever seen. The bright colors, the lovely custom flowers. Wow. But my favorite touch. You'll notice a few colors like dark blue, teal, dark red. Not really colors that you would associate with nature, with grass and dirt. And yet, it works. I appreciate Kit having the bravery to use very exotic colors, but then also finding ways to make it work. I think if it had too much of those colors, it would look, well, too much. It wouldn't work. But this does. But the roof. Spamming the wands from Harry Potter and the sprues that they're attached to. That is something else. That looks so good. Man, the talent on display here is... it's so good. We've also got this large beast, which almost appears to resemble a living wave of water. How exotic. These colors are so nice. Speaking of pretty colors, Satu has constructed a wearable Lego dress. The ice theming on this is lovely, very captivating. The display also includes a photo of what this looks like when it's worn. It looks downright epic. You know, it's pretty easy to mistake this for not being Lego. And honestly, that's the sign of a very, very good MOC, when you can transform those pieces into something else entirely. That's when it's real nice. It's even cooler to see these leaf pieces looking like snowflakes. Magical. Up next, this cabinet. But before that, more artwork. And these are lovely. This really does feel like you're looking at art in a museum, doesn't it? Now once again, these designs barely look like Lego, but when you take a closer look, well, they are. They do such a good job of capturing that element of realism. It's nice to see some of these triangle tiles being used here to capture the shape of the shoe. I'm a big fan of those pieces. It is amazing that the closer you get, the more you can break down those details, really see what's going on. But the further away you go, the more realistic it looks, the more it blurs together. How creative. Moving on over once again, we're greeted by the work of someone I actually met in Denmark. This guy's name is Wolfgang Amadeus Mock Art. We've got a large-scale skier moving through those snow slopes. I love that the gallery has a lot of character and creature builds of various scales, various sizes, because this dude is big. We've got some more nice part usage on the goggles, using boomerangs. That fits right in. The display even has a frickin' TV hooked up to it. Cool to see some technology mixed in with the Lego. Not bad. And actually, let's keep going with some interesting blends of Lego and technology. These are Lego guitars. They've managed to capture the shape so perfectly. And you know, a guitar itself, those curves are very specific. If you don't get it right, it's not gonna look very good. But they nailed it. And looking at some of these other instruments, they're like 1 to frickin' 1. I feel like if you put this in like a music store, you would trick a lot of people. So realistic, so accurate, fantastic. And we finish up this cabinet with a gorgeous fantasy creation. Some truly stunning landscape right here. And then a brilliant forced perspective. You know, the smaller trees in the background. Some smaller like buildings and landscape. And then partnering that with more minifigure scale landscape. How lovely is that? All of these wedge pieces and curve slopes, they make for some pretty wonderfully elegant rock work. Oh, and I really appreciate the different plates and colors underneath the water. That variation, that difference in color, that makes the water look so lovely. And gosh, the way the waterfall is lit up, it makes this feel so magical and fantastical. Then the arched bridge underneath it, dude, it's like a fairy tale. This diorama has so much going for it. It really is beautiful. The final cabinet, and we've got some bangers. Let's start off right here with this lovely exploration of one Lego element, these leaf pieces. By simply taking this and like a few bar elements, you can bend this into so many intricate shapes, so many elegant patterns, and so many interesting forms. These all look so lovely. Turning them into white wings on a bird, amazing. And then speaking of birds, down below these leaf pieces have been used for all manner of feathers. What a great display, and what a really nice showcase of the versatility of one piece. Sweet. Up next, Ian Summers, and they've layered in so many creative part usages. Why don't we check them out? Like this, using part of a minifigure ghost to look like toothpaste. That's genius. And then the visors on minifigure helmets, using that for fingernails? Dude! And then we've also got this little shrimp. You can see some of these antenna pieces here that have been bent. This is a good reminder. Just because a Lego piece has been damaged, doesn't mean you can't use it in a creative way. I love that. A Lego vacuum cleaner, which is surprisingly dark. Look at it, it's sucking up these minifigures and then turning them into frickin' skeletons. Dang. Still, it's a nice vacuum cleaner. This is well built, and I guess a little bit, charming. Dark, but funny and charming. Oh, and then a Zootopia mock. You don't see that every day. What a perfectly recreated character build. And then this, using the Star Wars Aura Singh hair for spilled coffee. I have actually seen that been used before on other creations. And I don't know what it is, it looks just like coffee. If you've got that piece, you need to use it in the same way. And then trans-clear elements for egg yolk. Dude, everything about these is so clever. But the best part usage? We're gonna save that for this last creation. Look at this owl. I mean, the build itself is phenomenal. But take a look at the claws. It took me a bit to identify what this is, but it's the head of some of the Chima mammoth figures. Flipping it around like that and turning it into the talons? That is so cool. This is freaking epic. How good is this display? But let's finish off with a bang. This huge, ancient city is so bright and colorful. And the scale of something like this, it's what you come to expect at the Masterpiece Gallery. The gold detailing, it really grabs your attention, doesn't it? And then some of these like finely printed pieces, they just add in the right amount of detail. This is impressive, most impressive. There's also a picture here which is likely the inspiration for this model. It's always good to compare the inspiration to the final build. Wow, the Masterpiece Gallery is filled with so much art, so many goodies, so many incredible creations. And in a few months' time, it's all going to be replaced with next year's builders and their new stuff. I'm very excited to see who's there and what they're bringing. It truly is an honor to be showcased in the Masterpiece Gallery. Only the best are included here. But that's it for a look at the Masterpiece Gallery in Lego House in Billund, Denmark. Again, be sure to take a look at the links in the description below. There you can see more from the builders I featured in this video. Thanks for watching everyone, happy building, and bye for now. I wonder which Bionicle builder they're going to feature next year. There's so many good ones. Who's it going to be?